Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Side of Sauce podcast, the greatest homemade podcast ever to fucking exist. And of course, it's
Obviously.
me, obviously. Of course, it's me again, your host, James. And of course, I'm joined once again by my lovely co host who holds me hostage every week.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's your boy Johnny.
But unfortunately, our two other friends are still lost. In fact, I heard a little news update. So apparently, what happened was they've escaped the crabs by going deeper into the tunnel, and they've actually been spotted several feet deep within the catacombs of France, like just underneath there. They're just chilling there.
Makes sense.
They're lost. They're starving. We could help them if we wanted to, but we don't because they're not currently here.
Hey man, I agree. I
just because you're being chased around by like a bunch of ghosts trapped within like the middle of like the worst country ever doesn't mean you get a chance not to be on here. You know,
you win some, you lose some.
Exactly. Like I'm currently dying. I don't know if I sound sick. I don't know if I sound like I'm not all there, but
bro, you've always sounded pretty sick, dude.
Honestly, I'm sick as fuck, dude. But like, yeah, I've been sick. I don't know what I have. I think it's allergies, but I've never had allergies before. So I don't know. I just had like a really sore throat and like a really stuffy nose.
Maybe you got cancer, bro. You're just dying right now.
Dude, that could be my Walter White arc. Speaking of which, I still have to finish. I have to start watching Better Call Saul. Have you started Better Call Saul or watched it at all?
Oh, I finished it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I like the Breaking Bad stuff a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Have you seen the movie for Jesse?
Okay, I was gonna let it slide the first time. My brother in Christ, I'm the one that's told you to watch that shit.
Have you?
Yes, I was. I was the one that originally. My dad made, because I watched it, I really didn't like it myself, and then me and my dad watched it together, and we both liked it a lot that time. Because I first tried to watch it when I was a lot younger, and then Maggie wouldn't watch it, and then he tried, and he was like, "Oh my god, it's so great!" And then we finally got Gabe to watch it, and I think then or you or vice versa. But yeah,
because I've always had an interest in it, but I was like, when it comes to watching TV specifically, I'm very fucking lazy about doing it. Like, I'm pretty sure all of The Mandalorian has just came out. Like, every single episode is out. I have not watched a single episode about it because I'm just lazy. I'm always doing other things.
Yeah, I feel you. That's because it's got some questionable decisions. It's good, but questionable decisions.
I also feel like oh man, I already know what happens in like Better Call Saul. And that's why I didn't watch Breaking Bad for the longest time because I was like, I already know what
Better Call Saul has nothing pretty much to do with Breaking Bad except for Saul Goodman. Yeah. Like that's they are very different.
I have watched the entire like court scene of him of Chuck and Jimmy.
Oh, I fucking love those scenes, bro.
That scene is like, even out of context, is like really good. Like I really enjoyed watching that scene. So I probably should just suck it up and just like watch it because I know I'm gonna like it.
Vance Gilligan's the guy that made it. He's really busted. He's right now, his next show he's working on, I can't remember what it is, but it's basically going to be something akin to a Monster of the Week style show, but kind of like X-Files-y, I think. I don't really know, but like, cool. Dude, that just sounds awesome. Like,
I like that. That sounds cool.
Like, I was like, dude, this guy is like one of the, like, in my opinion, he's one of my favorite like TV show cinematographers.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever. I don't know if he does. I know it's not him, but you get what I mean. Like everything he's touched seems like it's been really liked. So I'm really interested in this. This seems like it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, this seems pretty cool. But yeah, like, dude, and Breaking Bad is one of, I don't know if I would say it's my favorite TV series, but it is definitely like up there. Definitely top 2, top 3 kind of.
Yeah.
Because like
that's how I feel about it. It's like objectively one of my favorites. Maybe also, not personally.
I gotta be careful where I think it's great because I haven't told Sandra yet, but I watched we were watching it together and then we kind of like fell off watching it together, so I kind of just binged the rest of the series by myself.
Watching it,
yeah,
bruh.
And I don't know if she did or not, you know. But it was really cool. It was really amazing. I like, dude, everything with Gus is. I love. What is his name? The actor, but I love like basically
I love
every role that he's in. Like,
he's in Better Call Saul a lot, and he's really good too. He really liked that character.
Yeah, he really makes that character. I think honestly, that as Gus, him and the boys, like that was my favorite part about season 2 was him. Like,
as Edgar. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because like in the first season and like in the other seasons too, it's like Homelander is like this big imposing threat, and then you have just this man, this normal man who has no like superpowers, nothing, yet he strikes fear into Homelander. And that's
I like that it's very unique the way they do that too. It's not like they give him some generic like, oh, he's like super duper smart type. He's like 900 IQ, so he just outperforms everyone. It's not just that. He's clever. He's kind of smart, but he's also he's a great talker. He's very persuasive. It's all these other things together. It's not just that. It's charismatic. Exactly. It's great. It's not like he's this imposing character. He acts very humble all the time in the scenes. You're like, oh, is that so? Well, and talk quietly. People have to listen to hear what he's saying, and as they're listening in, he's lambasting them.
Exactly. I think that's what I love everything I've seen him in, because he's always been like he always steals every scene he's in. Like,
yeah, he does.
He really does. It will be like that scene with Walter and Jesse when he kills one of his henchmen with like a pair of scissors.
With the box cutter?
Yeah, with the box cutter. That shit had me like I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and I was like, oh my, like I know he wasn't gonna kill like Walter, but at Jesse, the
same time you're like, holy shit.
But I'm like so tensed up. He just has like this. I love actors who can like really like their presence captures a whole room, and I think he is like one of the best at it. He's one of the best. Him and like Kevin Conroy.
He's a great actor. Oh yeah, he's a great actor. He's one of those dudes who, like, even if you don't like the thing that's being made, at least you'll enjoy him in it. Mm-hmm. He'll like. I never played Far Cry, whatever it was, I think 6 or whatever, but I watched I saw most of the cutscenes that came around for him because I was like, he's just such a cool villain. Like he kind of he's one of those actors that kind of got into a role where he plays the same sort of character a lot.
Yeah.
Like
he definitely plays like an archetype
on the same character, different. There you go, perfect word, archetype. He has like an archetype he'll play, but differently in different roles. But every time, it's just such a great performance.
Did you hear that he's going to be in the new TMNT movie?
No, I didn't even hear about the new TNT movie.
The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mayhem. Oh my god, it's a fucking mouthful. It's like
TMNT. Oh, I think it's TNT. Dude, I didn't know they were making a new TMNT. That's sweet.
Yeah, they're making an animated Ninja Turtles movie, and the animation style is like akin to Spider-Verse or like Puss in Boots. So it looks.
Is it that Last Ronin thing?
No, it's not the Last Ronin. Although I do also really want to read
that's made a resurgence. A lot of people have been interested in that lately. I've noticed. I've even seen like Funk Pop, not Fock Pumpos, whatever the hell I'm saying.
Funko Pops?
Funk Pop vinyls of them or something like that, or something akin to those. Maybe not those, but like I saw those when I was at Best Buy the other day buying the thing. I saw action figures of them and stuff.
They're making a game for it too. I know that.
Yo,
it's gonna be like a God of War style game. So I mean that's pretty cool. I've never been like a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles person. I've always had like a passing interest in them. Like I think they're cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think they're cool and I kind of want to like them, but I've never really been into them.
Yeah, but I
played with them in Hero Clicks and that was fun. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that game we played?
Heroes Clicks.
Yeah, you have the little bases of the miniatures.
Yep.
And they like push. Oh yeah.
Dude, and also, like, I remember, like, back in the day when I was a young lad, one of, like, the first games I remember playing was, like, this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beat-em-up game for, like, the DS. I don't know where it is, but I don't even want to look it up. I just like the memories of it. Because I know if I look it up, it's going to be, like, shit. I don't want that tainting it.
You're like, oh my god. I remember in color and in 3D. It was a 2D Game Boy 1 game, like out of color. Like,
isn't that crazy? How like
my child was alive.
Isn't that crazy? How like you remember games looking so much better when you were a kid, but if you look at the same game that you did as a kid, it looks like utter dog shit.
Dog. If you asked me today, right now to bet my life on the fact that Destiny 1 had a dodge and barricade class abilities in Destiny 1 from the beginning. I would bet my life, knowing full well that the memories I have of using that in D1 early on are wrong because it didn't come out for like the longest time. They weren't originally there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would still bet all my money, like, no, they were there, bro. I'm telling you, like, I know they were there. Like, my memory's been so fucked. It's like the facts can't convince me otherwise.
I remember.
Even when I look back, I still see the image there with the ability.
I remember vividly when I had like a PS3 and like an Xbox 360. I remember vividly being like, "This is the peak of like video game graphics. We are never getting anything better than this." And then the PS4 came out, and I was delusional for like the first year it came out because I was like, "Oh, it looks basically the same." And I was a stupid, like, dumb kid. And then I went back to it, and I was like, "Yo, is this what the PS3 really looked like?" I remember this looking like real. I remember this looking like real life. I could touch Nathan Drake's ass cheeks if I wanted to.
And I did on many occasions.
On many occasions without his consent.
With
save the podcast with but fuck, I forget.
What was I gonna say? What celebrity did you just say? You said or not celebrity, you said character. You said, what's his name?
I was thinking of
Nathan Drake.
Yeah, Nathan Drake.
I don't know why it's not even the same thing other than just running around with a gun, but the same thing. Have you seen the movie Guns Akimbo with Daniel Radcliffe?
No. But Mr. Harry Potter, no.
It is a good, fun movie. If you're gonna go into like the same expectations you have for like Bullet Train or John Wick, you'll have a blast. Okay. Basically, the premise is there's like this like underground gang type thing that's like live streamed, and you're basically, people are getting killed. It's sort of like Live Leaks, but like a game that you can bet real money on. People are obsessed with in this future. It's like a couple years in the future, not that far. Okay. But long story short, no need to know why he gets strapped with a pair of guns to his hands for the whole movie, and he has to run around with those just stuck in his fist, like literally bolted to his hands.
That sounds like a cool cyberpunk upgrade. Is it literally just duct taped to his hands? Wait a minute.
Duct taped.
I think I've seen a clip of. I think I've seen an image of this.
Bolts go
movie.
Through his knuckles.
I think I've seen
because he gets knocked out and he wakes up and he's got two like M1911s strapped. He's like, what the fuck? I think the first thing he does is like start pulling the trigger and freaking out.
Hold on, what did you say the name of this movie is? Because I think I've seen an image from it. What is the name of this movie?
It's called Daniel Radcliffe Guns Akimbo. Wasn't Guns Akimbo. I was trying to think. For a second, I blanked too.
Yeah, I've seen an image of this movie because I think I've seen the image of him like in the nightgown with those stupid ass fucking.
He's like, Ron, have you seen these fucking guns? The metal guts. Yeah.
I tried to use this on Dobby and he fucking exploded. Oh my.
Dude, yeah, that image is from the movie. Like, if you look at the guns there, the bolts stick straight through his fingers, man.
Hold on, I gotta take a deep dive look at it. Oh, it is, yeah, I see.
Yeah, it's like, and I didn't realize either. I remember I was like, yo, this took a twist I did not expect. I thought they were like duct tape, but no, he's like, and so he's like, and he has these objectives he has to do in the movie. And I know I'm giving a lot of it away. I don't care. I don't think you'll probably ever see it.
But I might. It's on Amazon Prime.
It's good. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
very violent and like generic, cartoony, like think Bullet Train. Like, a lot of people die.
You know what I just thought about because you mentioned it earlier was John Wick. Did you see John Wick 4 yet?
I have not yet still, and I really need to.
Me neither. I haven't yet. There's a bunch of movies out right now I feel like I should see, but I haven't yet.
Like what? I can't really think of anything besides John Wick.
There's John Wick. Hold on, I have to look through the whole like movie theater thing because there was a couple that came out. I don't think I'm gonna go see the Mario movie.
I'm not gonna.
I don't think I'm going to. But my whole like family is like, I feel like every other fucking day they're asking me if I've seen this movie, and I'm like, no, I don't think I'm gonna go.
Well, let me put it this way: I will agree. I don't want to see it, but like if your family really likes it, like really wants to take you to it or whatever, I would just bite the bullet and go with them. Because 20 years from now, man, like, dude, they're like, I wish.
Oh.
I remember when like Big Hero 6 came out and like the Lego Movie, and I was like at that point where I was kind of edgy about that. And like Maddie was super hyped for them or whatever. And you know, like you're the edgy phase where you just don't like anything. You're like, no, I'm too cool for that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I look back and I'm like, man, like those are some really good movies. Those are probably some of my favorite movies ever. I'm like, at the time, I enjoyed them a bit, but like, or Up, like I really have good memories of those. So no, I would say if your family wants to go with you, man, you should totally go with them.
It's more like a thing of they want me to go see it first, and then I report to them.
Oh no, the video essay. They want the video essay on the Mario movie.
They want the YouTube video essay on the Mario movie. And honestly, actually, for real, I'm kind of thinking about it.
A video essay on the Mario movie, or seeing it?
Well, like just making a video essay on the Mario movie and like the whole fiasco I feel about it.
That'd be kind of base. I would watch the fuck.
Because I was gonna do one when Sonic 2 came out. I was gonna do a video essay, but I didn't feel confident in what I was like. I didn't feel confident that like I would put it out there and it'd be like up to my expectations. But I'm learning to like kind of like not be so hard on myself about that kind of stuff.
Manage your expectations and also learn from your failures, and also see the like even if you do fuck up some things in the video or whatever, you're gonna be like, hey man, I still made this YouTube video. That's more than most of my friends have ever done.
Yeah, you know? that's what I'm trying to do. I'm like trying to be better about it. But I think I'm gonna dip my toes into the same.
Not to interrupt, but I listen to the same YouTube videos all the time. So like I have playlists of like things I'll listen to. Like I have one called Repetition. I just used to like to sleep to. Mm-hmm. So like even if nobody else watches it, you will probably get 500 views in the next couple months just from me, man. I'll put it in there, just straggle it through, and you'll get like your 5-cent royalty fee. You know, like
yeah. Do you hold up? Quick question, because you mentioned that. Do you watch any episodes of the podcast?
No, I don't. I really feel like I should, but it also I feel like I shouldn't, if that makes sense.
That's fair. I do occasionally.
What I feel like for me is like, well, why would I not listen to it if I feel like other people, would want to listen to it? You know, obviously there's that expectation, but at the same time, I feel like if I were to ever even listen to it, I would feel like, there's a difference between if you're just a local, if you're a local town band and you're wearing your own merch, but like if like Metallica goes on stage and they're wearing Metallica t-shirts for their Metallica tour they're on, you're going to be like, bro, like,
would you wear this is kind of,
it's just generic. Like it just suddenly takes it away. There's a huge, if a customer comes to wearing a t-shirt for your business, that means a whole lot more than when your employee comes in wearing a t-shirt for your business. You know what I mean?
That is true. I will give you that. I do put them on sometimes, because sometimes I'll be like, I'll be cleaning my room or something, and I'll be like, I want to listen to something, but I don't really know what to listen to. So I'll look through podcasts and I'll be like, I wonder what I said at this time and how I feel about what I said. Like, one of the recent ones I listened to was the Suicide Squad one we did with all of us. That was pretty fun. That one was pretty entertaining. Like, sometimes I'll go back and I'll like laugh at things we've said.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The other reason I don't like to listen is the same reason I like to remember the better parts, and I feel like if I went and listened to them, I would pick out all the flaws and then I would remember those more, because like I don't really remember anything bad. Like I know there's so many things I regret saying already, or I misspoke so many times on this, and I'm like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that, or like, oh, that's not what I meant, or you know what I mean, or like, oh, I just said something and I shouldn't have even said it. But like you forget about it, and because people talk, I say stupid shit all the time.
True.
But like if I were to go back and listen to it, I'd be like, oh James, you should take that out, I don't want to hear this, or I don't really actually have that belief, take that, like, and then I'd be being a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I get that. That's fair. Although
better for me not to have that self-doubt.
Are you saying if we as a podcast we grew, we were like, I don't know, one of the top 15 podcasts or something. If we had merch, I don't know, like something like that. If we had merch, you wouldn't wear merch?
That's okay. I was gonna go there, but I was gonna sound kind of pretentious. I've always thought it'd be cool to like. I don't like clothing brands that just you make t-shirts and stuff. Like I genuinely like. I wish I could make like my own like clothing brand and do crazy, because you see all the things I do. Like I make my own wallet chains. I make my own jewelry from scratch. Like solder it together when I like do those things. But like if I was to make stuff, I would want to make things that I think are cool. Like I'd want to make purses and bags and jeans that I would want to wear, because I would be like, why make something that's going to sell well if I have the ability to make something that I'm passionate about? And if that's the case, I'm going to want to wear it. But if I'm wearing like everything that's like Johnny and James Incorporated, I'm going to feel like, like those people that walk around like, I don't know. Even at the time, I always thought it was goofy where people had the track suits that said like "Juicy" on the front and back of them, like the matching track suits, and then a matching pair of like sneakers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can, I guess you can, but like, do I really want to wear the Juicy track suit? No, not really.
Not particularly.
Not particularly.
I would. I don't know. I wouldn't wear something that was just like a plain T-shirt with like a logo on it. I always feel like those are so boring and lazy. Like, those are just the generic shirts that you're like, oh, here's this, pump it out.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I don't know, that's lazy to me. I would wear, like, I would want to wear, like, cool clothing that I would want to wear, That's what I'm
the thing. I'd want to, like, and I, like, there's a lot of, like, I'm one of those people that likes to look at a lot of clothes. Because, like, I'm not going to buy a ton of like, super expensive clothes because it's stupid.
Yeah.
But I have, like, my little things here and there, whatever. I can afford, like, like my wallet. I have a very nice little wallet, but like my bag's much cheaper. So like, you get little splurges here and there, living outside your means or, enjoying life. You decide. But so I like that kind of stuff and those like brands, but I always like the brands that are like you're saying, like they're unique. Like they have these like things that you wouldn't even necessarily wear ever. Like they're just cool looking. Like, wow, that's a really cool shirt. Like, or like those whatever. Like that's a really cool. It's like it looks like something out of a video game cutscene. You're like, that looks like someone's prepared for like combat, or that person looks like they're wearing like a spacesuit almost. So these are cool things. I'd want to make stuff like that. Why would I want to? I wouldn't want to do other stuff. And then but I'd want to wear it too,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you'd feel the same if you made like a 1-to-1 perfect Gundam suit for Sonic. You'd want to wear it nonstop, right?
Yeah.
Like, of course. If I could do the same thing for Shrek, I would. So like,
yeah.
Like that's why I can't make the Shrek Gundam suit, because I'd only want to wear it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Just spin.
It's the hubris of man.
I was thinking.
Be your unlimiter.
I was thinking about. Because I want to go to GalaxyCon this year. I want to go to like in Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a couple of like voice actors and actors there. I was like, I would really want to meet, and I'm thinking like, it's kind of sellouty, but like I kind of want to make like a T-shirt and just for the podcast and wear it there. See if anyone listens.
Yeah, no, I see. Well, that's different. Like I said. That is we're like a tiny podcast. I was literally explaining to Jess earlier, like not a lot of people listen to us. Like we're really more talking because what we're mainly doing is like you do. This is a way to more record and interact and hang out. And it's a commitment we've made throughout the years to interact and stuff and to share that with other people. And if a few friends from Scouts or whatever listen, that's just a plus. But yeah, like like I said, when a local band wears their own merch, that's just called good business practice. That you're not Metallica. You're not Metallica wearing Metallica.
I could,
I wouldn't say it's douchey. Like maybe it's a little try hard, but like who cares? Right. Like if you get one listener, that's still one more listener. That'd be kind of cool.
Hey, yeah, man's just spitting. Man's just thinking. Man's has the biggest brain right now.
What's the worst that happens? You make a shirt for $25. You forget about this 10 years from now, and nothing comes of it.
Right.
I mean, you're probably not gonna look back and damn, I shouldn't have done that.
I'm gonna specifically say wild shit. So like years later, if I had like kids and grandkids, they would hear the wild shit that their grandfather said.
Don't be spitting bars, sparring. I just fucking stuttered it so bad. Oh my god. Don't be spitting bars, be spitting lead, bro, like a machine gun. For real.
Don't be spitting bars, bro.
Oh. For real.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, don't be spitting bars.
Spitting bars, dude. Jimmy could be like the delivery of like, if I had to have someone like, would you imagine like him as like a doctor? I know this is totally random, but he's like, sorry, ma'am, but you twins did make it.
Hold up, I just thought about this. Who is winning this rap off? Jimmy from South Park or Porky Pig from Looney Tunes?
Jimmy from South Park, because Jimmy from South Park actually has some like insane vocabulary, bro.
I mean, did you see that video of the Porky Pig? He smacks his fucking stupid little thumb, and he goes,
"Dude, I love that video."
Son of a gun. He said I was gonna say,
"Son of a bitch," now didn't you?
I love when it's normal and then it deep fries itself after it says bitch.
Yeah, it's so great. That, in my mind, that's like the original version, is the deep fried one.
That's
just for that one section.
Mm-hmm. That is one of my favorite videos of all time. It's the core memory within my brain that I think of.
See, that's what one thing I've been thinking about lately is like core memories. Like one thing I kind of want to do more of is save like specific like, you know, like camera rolls are fine and all, but like specifically like set aside like on a thumb drive like all the videos and photos, maybe even not necessarily like memes and stuff, but just like I feel like maybe it's more like digital photo booking, or do you know what I mean? I've been thinking about that lately.
Yeah. That's
for like pictures, not even just like memes or pictures of the things you take, but like screenshots you take of like messages or important things happening in your life or funny things. So it could be all sorts of stuff, but like making collages that so you can look back at it more easily.
Mm-hmm. That honestly is like a really cool and neat idea, I think. Like,
thank you.
That is I also think in like a sense, I think that's also kind of what social media kind of could be and is. To me, at least, that's what I view social media as. Is like a scrapbook that just like most people can see, that they don't have to like break into your house to find it. You know.
Well, that's my problem. Is I'm so like.
But I get what you mean.
I have like weird
you like
quirks.
To post memes.
No. Like I have like weird quirks. Like I like things to be organized, not necessarily even organized well, but in a certain way that just works for me. One of those ways being like, it's stressful to have things stored in separate sections. So like, having a redundancy is fine, but like, if I was to have like I don't like using multiple social media apps all the time. Like I usually just use YouTube or maybe Instagram, because having to go between them, it's like I'm compartmentalizing a little, and it just makes more effort. Yeah, so I usually just use like one, like YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that.
But the same thing, like if I wanted to store stuff, I'd want it all like I don't know, like spread out. But at the same time, I do not want everything I've done backed up in a giant metaverse cloud save. That's not what I'm saying.
You don't want the ability of a hacker
my favorite memories on a thumb drive. There's a big difference.
Every time I think of thumb drive now, I think of the scene in the Batman where he pulls out the dude's thumb drive from the car, and it's just the thumb. He's like, thumb drive? It's like a little comedy bit.
Boost that scene.
I always imagine that scene. I've seen an edit of it where he pulls it out and he's like, thumb drive, and then it stops and it like freeze frames on him, and it's the Seinfeld ending where they laugh and it's bow 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 bow.
Or you just make it so you add in laughter so that Commissioner Gordon loses it laughing hysterically. Like,
I should do that. I should edit. I should make that DVD, and and there's no other changes in the movie. It's just that. And
dude, you know those like thumb drive necklaces, like the one I have?
Oh yeah, the one you like. I have one still.
Yeah, I think I made you one. Yeah. I have a different one from the one I made for other people, because this one I got. There was another guy that made it. I didn't make the one for me because what is the first one I got? But what is it? What was I saying? Oh, I don't really have anything stored on it. It's just an empty thumb drive with like 64 gigabytes of like storage or whatever,
Yeah.
But those like really cool like viruses where you just like plug it in and like it just destroys a computer? I've always wanted to put one of those kinds of things on like a thumb drive.
I've never heard anyone call those viruses really cool.
You don't think they're cool as fuck?
No. I wouldn't think it's cool as fuck if I put a thumb drive into my computer and then my computer explodes on me.
The fear that someone would ever plug it in to like my computer, because I wouldn't want to use it. Like, it's just kind of like, dude, it's cool. It's like if you have a jetpack. Are you going to jetpack to work every day? No, you're not. But like, if you have a jetpack. All right, James.
Okay,
you jetpack to work during the middle of the next hurricane.
I would, that's actually a good idea. Actually, hold up.
The wind will just propel you faster.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. If it's like really windy outside, there is a chance for it to propel me to work faster, so that way I can wake up later and then I would still be getting to work on time.
Dude, I just had the trippiest thought ever.
What's the thought?
So with rain falling and stuff, like if there's a percentage of the air that's been replaced with water, how many more raindrops would you have to have before you could swim through the rain?
30.
Like, could you imagine that shit? Like, what's the ratio? Where do you draw the line between swimmable and not swimmable?
I wouldn't even know where to put that at. No.
Like, let's just think here. So, I don't even I think if that happened, it would, all the water just coming down would just crush you. Honestly, just be squashed.
Honestly, I think
if you didn't get crushed, I don't know.
Have you ever seen those videos of the army people in the jetpacks that they have?
What?
The army has made jetpacks before, and they've flown around.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly,
yeah, I've seen those.
We should just replace cars. That's what I'm saying. We should replace cars, and instead of cars, you have a jetpack.
Dude, no, fuck that. I'll tell you what we need. We have the technology to do this too, and we should. We need to make vehicles like they always did in every sci-fi fantasy, where every young protagonist who's kind of a loner but popular at the same time where they have
a hover motorcycle,
surfboard type thing. Yeah, a hoverboard, exactly. Some shit like that. Imagine going down the highway on a 6 foot long fucking ATV / longboard with a thruster on the back. That shit would be the coolest. Yeah, you might die, but come on,
you
dude.
might die, but you would look so cool while you died.
Well, seriously though, if you design it so that the biggest problem you would have is with skateboarding is you have to decide how loose you want your turn to be, how much you can turn, and how wobbly. That's how you turn. Well, the faster you're going, the harder it is to keep. Unlike a bike, it's much harder to keep it steady. You start wobbling really bad. So you would want to have some systems so that you could, as you accelerate and decelerate, it would adjust the amount of input you could give it.
Okay.
And you'd want body armor, but I think it could be real. That you could make that shit, man. 100%.
I still think the jetpack idea is really cool.
I agree. Or what about even a helicopter pack, some akin to drone, a bigger drone thing, but instead of the drone, it's just you in the center.
Here's what I'm thinking. Have you ever seen those little hats with the little helicopter hat on top?
No.
We have one of those little helicopter hats, and that's how you get to work.
Well, could you imagine, man? You have that, and you sneeze, you accidentally lean forward the slightest bit, you just decapitate, you just trim your toenails real quick. You're like, oh shoot. Some of my boots are gone.
Whoopsie. I think
Whoops.
Whoops. No, that'd be the worst. I think you'd probably. I don't know. Maybe would you hang yourself if you did that? Essentially, just be doing that. I think you would. Because the propellant.
No, you can suspend yourself from your neck. You have the ability. That's not what kills you when you're hung. When you're hung, there's two different ways that you die while hanging. It's not one way to die. You have being hung until dead, which is where basically you have something around your neck and you're cutting off either first the oxygen, which is the most common type, or if you're really strong, you can cut off the blood flow, which can knock you out much faster, 30 seconds, like you see in some of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the other kind, which is the force from falling multiple feet. You drop and it snaps your neck, and that's considered usually the more humane one because it's supposed to kill you instantly.
Yeah.
But so you can suspend, you could be theoretically hang from a device designed to grip around your head. You know what I mean?
Have you ever seen those roller coasters that they designed for inmates on death row?
Those roller coasters?
So there's this specific roller coaster they designed for people in death row, where it's supposed to be a really humane way, I guess, to kill someone. Where it's designed where you would experience so many G's of force that you would just die by the end of the roller coaster.
It was theoretical. That didn't get actually made, right?
It didn't actually get made, but it's a theoretical thing.
Okay. Yeah, I do know that. Yes. Okay, I was thinking like, my mind was going somewhere like they have roller coasters that are really dangerous, and the way they test them out to see how safe they are in the human body is putting death row inmates on them and sending them through. I was like, that's really fucking metal, but also fucked up. Like,
That's
kind of cool. Like, could you imagine that as like a movie, like a fucking movie, bro? That shit would be fire. The
that
one
would
guy
be
that
a
makes it
fire.
through.
Oh my god.
The one guy that makes it through the program.
I mean, he served his sentence. I mean, he's get to get let free, right? Have you ever? Wait, hold up. That made me think of something. Have you ever heard the story? It happened like a couple years ago, of the guy who was in prison for a life sentence. He died. And then he came back to life. And then they argued that because he died, he already served his life sentence.
To clarify, he died, and then through fucking defibrillator, he was able to be brought back almost immediately. It was like 30 seconds had lapsed, something like that. Very minimal amount of time.
Something like that. And honestly,
so he died and came back to life technically.
He's technically right.
No, he's really not.
Come on, Johnny. He died. It was a life sentence. He served a life.
My brother in Christ, if you're alive now, dumbass. So clearly, my bad. That was a miscommunication on your end. You said you were dead. Well, clearly you're fucking alive. One other example of someone dying, coming back to life that's provable. That's not. We're not talking about like religious beliefs. Like. Recently, there's no one. So yeah, no, he should stay in jail, man. I'm sorry.
I think because they specified a life sentence. Well, you would say he's dead, right? He died. He died for 30 seconds.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say he's a different individual. I wouldn't say it's a new life. I'd say he's living
he's not a different individual.
Life.
He's still the same person. But he died and he came back to life. It wasn't the same life he had before. Because that life's done. That's like Mario shit. Like, you lose a life, you gain another one.
Was he everything was done to save him so that he could then be executed at the proper time? Because just like if someone tries to commit suicide on death row, they stop them there too.
I still think he served a life sentence.
No, that's wrong. It's wrong, man.
I know it's wrong.
For the joke, I can't even agree with you. Like you're just wrong, bro. Like it's the same life. Man's got the same memories and everything, unless he got like a factory reset.
Do you consider that like a? Do you consider that like how when like you die in like a platformer, you like your little stock icon goes down one?
I was gonna say it's almost like. It's like a lag.
It's like when you like die in an arcade game and it's like you put 25 cents back in the machine to continue.
When you for like momentarily get like you lag and the Wi-Fi cuts out for a second and then it immediately reconnects. So you're like, oh shit, I got back in the match, guys. I'm still in. Don't worry.
Freeze
Rejoin
frames.
Match. Yes.
It like freeze frames on you like right before you're about to shoot the enemy in Halo 3, and then it's like 30 seconds. You're like, did we crash? Did the game die? And it cuts back and you're fucking dead on the floor. Some guy.
God, I wish.
Some guy twerking his stupid butt all over you.
Yeah, and you're like, bro, thank you.
Man, I miss those days. I miss those days of. Listen, this is gonna be a really weird thing for me to sell for people who did not experience it. Back in the Xbox Live era, when that was like the main way people communicated in like games of like Modern Warfare, Halo 3.
In general.
When that was the way that people communicated through games, I think that was genuinely one of the most magical experiences a human being could ever happen to one.
Honestly.
Because I remember I didn't even go on it that often because I didn't play those kinds of games that often. But when I did, I remember hearing some of the worst shit in my life.
My parents wouldn't even let me have an Xbox Live, not even with the promise not to play online.
Well, here's the thing.
They were just like, nah, bro, you're not getting Xbox Live.
Here's the thing. I didn't get Xbox Live, but my older sister did. So I just went on her thing, and I played it a couple of times. And I remember, I had never heard slurs up until that point. Up until I joined Xbox Live.
Highly based.
But I remember hearing them, and I was like, "Oh man, I wish I could get on the mic and say something."
I know what you mean. When you're a kid, you don't really understand the consequences.
Yeah, you don't really understand.
You just think it's cool.
You're just like,
you just think it is cool. Like
when I was a kid, I was just like, I want to go on there and I'm gonna start cussing.
yeah, I'm gonna say poop.
I want to say the poop word. I can hear my mom. He'll ground me for a whole 2 days.
I know some people aren't like a big fan of him. Some people are. I don't know how you feel about Chris Pratt, but
yeah.
Did you see that interview? I think it was recent where like he was talking about his kid fishing with his kid.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, no, but what was he talking about? Like just fishing with his kid?
He's like, me and my son have this rule, the same rule I had with my dad back in the day. When you're out fishing, it's just you boys. You can curse. You can curse a little bit. It's okay. But well, that's what my kid is. He can curse when he's fishing with me. So he got hurt or whatever. Long story short, got scared or whatever, and I think he fell in the water or something, and he was all upset. Dad was like, "Don't worry." Chris Pratt was like, "Don't worry. You can say something bad." And he's like, "Yeah, the fish that splashed me, he's a poopy head." And he's like, and the dad's like, "Oh, yeah, you really told me. That's funny, whatever." And he goes like, "You really suck." He's like, "Yeah." And the dad's like, "Yeah, you let those swerves out." And it's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "And he's a fucking pussy too." Bro.
I was like, the memory was coming back. I was like, I remember this. Does he say fucking pussy at the end?
Pussy.
Bro is spitting, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Chris Pratt he's Emmett, he's Mario, and soon he's gonna be Garfield. Isn't that crazy?
And he's fucking Chris Pratt.
Oh, and he's Chris Pratt, dude. I can't believe it. Chris Pratt being played by Chris Pratt. Speaking of Chris Pratt,
no, but you forget one important role.
What?
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3. You excited?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, and Parks and Recreation. My God.
Parks and Rec, yeah. Did you know?
What else has he been in?
Little known fact. Before they got like the cast of like the Sonic movie, I think Chris Pratt was down to as both roles. He could either play like the main like human character, or he was considered to be play Sonic.
Who did voice Sonic?
Guy named Ben Schwartz.
I don't know why. For some reason, I was like, it probably should have been like what's the guy that plays Deadpool? Ryan Reynolds.
Like Ryan Reynolds played Pikachu Sonic. Though.
That's what he played. Yeah, that's what it was.
I remember seeing that movie once, and I remember liking it, but I haven't watched it again because I was like,
when I first watched fucking what was that movie? Ready Player One. I thought it was a great movie.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The opposite of fine wine. Every time I think about it, it's worse than when I remembered it the last time. It's like, if I would literally rather be put to the flame, to the blade even, and then have to watch that again.
I remember watching the movie and liking it so much that I got the book and I read it, and I remember liking both of those things. And every time I think back upon them, I either cringe or I see it as kind of problematic.
Yeah, you're like, dude, this guy's so fucking weird.
This guy was like, who the fuck made this?
Well, I think that's the thing people never really talk about, but it is a truth thing. Like, definitely, like, there are beliefs that I held just a few years ago, just recent beliefs that, like, I don't necessarily agree with now. Like, people mature and grow, and, like, you learn things. Like, just the fact that you're able to admit that, like, yeah, you liked something that you look back at as problematic is actually pretty cool.
The person I was in 2016, 2017 is not at all the same person I am now. I'm like,
there's a reason I deleted my Facebook.
I'm like,
dude,
I'm like almost the complete opposite of what I believed in back then.
Yeah, no, like I went from hardcore right-wing conservative to like completely not.
Yeah, now I'm like I wouldn't say super left-wing, but I'm definitely like leaning towards left-wing.
I'm independent, but like, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like I have a lot of progressive.
I'm also independent.
I personally say.
Yeah, I'm also independent labeled, but I do think personally I lean more a little left.
Okay.
For most issues. But yeah, like back in the day, back when like the whole like social justice warrior, like feminism cringe reaction
God,
videos.
Yeah.
When those were coming out, like I was.
I used to fucking love that shit. I thought it was funny.
Those
I'm
videos,
those
videos tricked me into thinking Ben Shapiro was a smart guy.
Oh God.
Anytime I hear him talk about like actual issues now, it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Please shut up. Please shut up.
I really know how I feel about him. Like, I really never watched a lot of his stuff to begin with. I know he said some stupid stuff, and he's unlike someone like, who's done like Andrew Tate, who's done like some really bad stuff, and like, okay, if Andrew Tate was to say something that like made sense, he'd be like, okay, that's just an exception or whatever. He's just stating something that's an exception. Mm-hmm. But like, every now and then, like, but Ben Shapiro's not really done anything besides be a douchebag. So like, he's just, he might be a dick or whatever, but like, oh well.
He's not like the worst person. At least
he's not like being a danger. He just might be saying things that are
Andrew
really fucked up.
He's no like abducting women and then forcing them to make an OnlyFans and then stealing their money.
Yeah, yeah, like that. Like there's like just you draw the line like man. Just for some reason I feel more strongly about one of those than the other. Yeah, I'll leave it up to you to know which one it is.
Figure out why. Like there's just a lot of people who I just can't stand because they just say a lot of dumb shit. Who I used to like, who I used to think were smart, like Ben Shapiro, like what's that bitch's name? Jordan Peterson. I used to think he was really smart. Now he's a fucking idiot.
I look at it a lot different because I still like there's still a lot of stuff that I think Jordan Peterson has spot on and stuff, but it's not. I've come to the conclusion nobody's perfect. Some are worse than others, but just because you can look at someone and he's got some good opinions here, whatever. But I'm not. That doesn't mean I'm stupid enough to go. Everything this man is selling me is the gospel. Usually eating up the slop that anyone could sell you.
For Jordan Peterson, it's like. He when he says like things that I agree with, most of the time they're like really basic common knowledge things. They're like,
yeah, I mean there definitely is that.
Like most of the time it's like that. Like I've never really agreed with him on like a social or political topic usually. At least not recently that I can think of that he's been like outspoken about.
That's the real thing for me is I'm not up to date with modern politics. I see the occasional thing that you guys send, and that's about it. So like, I really don't know what like these people are up to.
I'll be honest, I'm not super like deep into it. Like not how I like was like a couple years ago, but I'm still like fairly involved in like I do kind of keep up with it. Like I keep up with like a lot of like the basics that I think most people should know, that kind of thing.
See, like the problem I have with like the Jordan Peterson thing is like, because I don't agree with all the social stuff, but I think I even sent you it a while ago. There was this like thing he did or whatever, and it was like an interpretation of like mythology, and it is like he's like, yeah, this isn't necessarily really a one-to-one thing. It's just this is more like a thought experiment. Think about it this way, but like, what if you take the Bible and all these other religious books and you make that as an analogy for like humanity? Learning about like free will and consciousness, and it was a cool metaphysical like video essay thing he did. It was really cool. I was like, okay, like he can do that, but then he's also got some stuff where you're like, Jordan, my guy, like, are you okay? Like, like what the fuck are you on about? Like you were talking about you were sounding like Joe Biden right now, guy. Like, what?
Yeah, he does. He very does much like when he does like most of his modern like talks. He talks like Joe Biden, where he'll say something and then he'll just go off on like some random ass tangent that no one asked him about, and it's kind of funny, but I also feel really bad.
It makes me think of the directors when like when they're directing a movie and that nobody really has the authority out of certain, like Quentin Tarantino. There was a ton of scenes in some of his movies where you're like, great man, this is like cinematic masterpiece. But you could still trim some stuff off the edges.
I don't know
like,
what movie it was in, but I saw a scene of like. Quentin Tarantino cast himself in a role where he was like kneeling down, and this woman was like forcing her foot into his mouth while pouring alcohol down her leg for him to drink it. And I was like, what in the world is this movie?
was that evil? I can't remember the name. Is it a vampire movie?
I don't think it's a vampire movie. I don't know the actual movie. I've just seen the scene.
That's what I'm thinking of, I think. But no, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, that's Quentin Tarantino for you. He'll do that. He would do that.
Quentin Tarantino has like this weird foot fetish. I'm like 100% sure.
Oh yeah, it's like confirmed, bro. Like even he admits it at this point.
I mean, he might as well with how much he'd be fucking putting in his movies.
But my point is, my thought process is like my brother in Christ. I have no problem with the foot fetish. Do not force that shit into your movie for no reason whatsoever, and do not force these random ass roles where you're just like, I'm gonna film me in the movie licking someone's foot. Like, bro, just go do that in your own time then with someone else that likes foot feet. You know, like don't fucking put that in the movie. Like, what does this add to the plot? This does not change anyone's character arc here.
Johnny, you don't understand. I have to lick the peanut butter in between her toes. I have to. If I don't, the whole movie falls apart. Shambles. If I don't do this.
Shambles. For real, dude. It's the whole plot is based around I'll tell you a good example of him including the foot thing is have you seen Pulp Fiction?
Yes.
You know the beginning scene where Jules and what's his name? Because of the V. Vincent.
I don't.
Jules and Vincent.
Yeah.
So Samuel L. Jackson and what's his name are walking through the hallway and they're talking about stuff, and he's talking about their boss, and they're talking about the significance of a foot rub or whatever. And it's like, okay, it's not. He's like someone got beat up for giving his girlfriend a foot massage. He's like, that ain't nothing. He's like, really? How would you feel about giving me a foot massage right now? Then he's like, I wouldn't want it. It's like, obviously, because there's just something about it. It's a little more intimate. He's like, it's just not okay. And so they're talking about that makes sense. They actually included it in the fucking plot. But just if you're just gonna have a scene where you're just filmed licking feet like my brother in Christ, that is just kind of gross.
Yeah, I think if I stumbled into
funny, it's like I don't care. It's like even if What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say if I stumbled into I don't know, a room and I found my girlfriend's foot being massaged, I think I would be upset too. You know?
Yeah, I'd throw that person out the window myself as well.
Unless it was like a professional massager, you know. But even then, you know.
Yeah.
But massages are those weird things where it's like, that's teetering on the edge of not being okay. Yeah. And I personally don't think it's okay.
I disagree. I think it can be. I think it's like I don't know. It's like a lot of things. It can go both ways. You can have a bartender that's just going to serve you, or you can have a bartender that's going to act like they're trying to flirt with you. You know.
It's more like I think it's more context, honestly.
Yeah.
Like if it's just
the homies.
The
bathhouse.
You know how it
summer night.
One of our gamer lover nights,
No, steamy summer night.
Oh, steamy summer night? Yeah, one of the steamy summer nights, she has to understand. It's a steamy summer night. What do you expect me to do, I'm not going to go home unsteamed in this summer.
Unbusted down.
I did not come here with my nuts full to be, released, still
undrained.
Undrained, I came here to repair myself.
Overflowing.
I came here to clean myself, to release. I didn't come here to hold in still.
You didn't come here.
Oh my god, I hope my parents never fucking listen to this.
That's what I'm saying, we're this is better. This better not catch on. I swear to God.
I know my dad's gonna listen to this and be like, I didn't know my son was so stupid.
I did not know my son had the average IQ of a houseplant. And a smart one of that. A smart houseplant.
A smart houseplant? I did not know.
I mean, it's a stupid houseplant. I'm sorry. That's a stupid houseplant. That's doing it justice. I'll fuck the joke up.
The stupid and smart houseplant.
You can be the smart one. I'll be the stupid one.
We can be the stupid one together.
There we go.
We can make this the stupid houseplant podcast, honestly.
For real. A side of houseplants.
A side of houseplants. Honestly, I don't know if we ever talked about it. I'm still really proud of the name for the podcast. I don't remember how I came up with it, but I really am proud of the name of it.
That is the number one thing why at the beginning I stuck through was like, man, like even if like nothing else, at least you'd be like, yeah, this is a better name than like, I don't know. This is probably one of my favorite things. Asylum has like the perfect name.
Honestly, I think one of the biggest things for like a brand is like a name that you need.
Yeah,
that's why I think Quibi
logos
failed.
are so important.
Yeah, that's why I think Quibi failed. Do you know what Quibi is?
If you Quibi, no. What is Quibi? Oh, it's a little short video things, right?
Yeah, it was a.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was meant to be quick, bite-sized videos, I think, or something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that. It's a stupid fucking name. Like, it's a dumb name. You know, I can't imagine. Ridiculous. Like, they got $1 billion to make that app work, and it failed. It flopped on its face. God, God help someone.
That's the crazy thing. People laugh at that, and then you can also have things like.
But you could also have
Elon
things like
Musk just buying Twitter, and going the complete opposite direction. Everyone expected it was going to be like a shit show, and in reality, it kind of was the same thing. And then pretty much Elon Musk had to step down because he lost, which is not really, at least in my opinion, not what people were expecting. Like, so you see, like you can gauge one way or the other, like things. They go, just what? That made no sense. Like, how is this not a successful business move or venture? And then sometimes it does work. It's like, what the fuck?
Made me remind me of? Do you remember what TikTok was called before it was called TikTok?
No.
It was called Musical.ly.
I remember that.
I remember Musical.ly coming out and then kind of just dying. But as soon as it was like rebranded to TikTok, it blew up. I think a name is so important.
Names are important. I think logos are even more important. My thought process is like your brand needs to have a logo that you can print. You want it to be very important things. You want it to be A, distinguishable, B, very simple, and C, you want it to be easy to do. So something like the best designs are the ones that you can make stencils and stickers. So like if you can cut a paper stencil out of your logo and spray it on things, boom, you can make so much of your stuff like better, and that means it's easy to replicate again and again. But like if you've got some complicated logo, you got to get special order stuff, and it can make it such a hassle.
Like I get that,
like like the Red Bull cans, like where they have like if you get a Monster can or if you get a Rockstar can, they have their stupid Rockstar Monster like thing printed on top of the tab. But if you get a Red Bull, the tab is the cutout silhouette of the bull, and it's that simple difference. It's way simpler, way cleaner looking. It just it sells the product. They come in a smaller bottle and they cost more, and people still buy it.
True. Do you have a favorite logo though?
I have some. The Red Bull logo is one of my favorites.
I do have a couple.
I absolutely love the Red Bulls.
One of my
what are yours?
One of my I think probably my favorite logo of all time is the Sonic Adventure 2 logo. It is so simple, and it's so effective in how cool it is.
I had to look it up.
Look up the Sonic Adventure 2 logo.
I just did. Yeah. That's based. Yeah, that's a nice one.
That is a nice logo.
It's kind of iconic. I think I've seen that before.
Also, the old Doritos logo. Really nice.
That's a good one.
And
I always liked ones that were like a symbol that like was something that like the name itself. So like if something like, for instance, Lightning McQueen, like his logo branding, like that lightning bolt, I liked that he had that thing like that. So like things like, again, for the Red Bull, that little silhouette, you could just put that anywhere and you instantly know what it is.
Yeah.
There's this clothing brand I really like called Acronym, and they do a lot of like their branding as super duper minimal stuff where it's like I have a little wallet of mine, and it's just like it's everything's like black matte colors, but they just have like the slightest branding, and it's just lowercase, or I think actually uppercase, I'm sorry, and just plain text, just their logo. So it's not like overly abundant, but it's that subtle touch I really like. You know?
I get that. Yeah, that's actually a really good way to put it.
What was that?
I said that's actually like a really, really good way to put it. Yeah. I do like one of my least favorite, like one of my pet peeves though, for logos at least, is overly simplistic logos.
Yeah, that's true. Like just one shape makes no sense. I remember
there was like a Doritos logo that they just came out with, like a bag. I don't know if it was like they are still doing it or if they're not going to, but it looks so. I hate it because it's just so simple.
Yeah, it just looks cheap.
Doritos, yeah, like it looks like the Walmart brand shit. You know?
Yeah, where it looks like cheapified or simplified, like to the point where it's oversimplified. See, no, I don't like that. I like it where it's like it's simple, but like that iconic good simple. You know what I mean?
It's a triangle, like an orange triangle with like red inside of it. It would just Dorito in white text underneath it. Not even fancy, nothing. It just like it looks like a generic font. It looks so bad. Who the fuck approved that? I hate logos like that. Shit annoys the fuck out of me.
Dude, so like this is really obscure, and this sounds like a shit post, but it's not. I do like the branding for them, for some of the brand, like the brand Off-White with the very bold like printing on everything. Back in the day, like the earliest stuff they did were these shorts, and they were like whatever, and for the Off-White stuff, and it was Virgil did it with, he basically had the shirts and the pants said Pyrex on it because talk about crack or whatever, or drugs, or I'm not sure what exact, because I'm not hip with the kids, but whatever you cooked it in, it had like some of the measurements and the logo. But after some of the original, like that stuff came from like the generic words up there that made no sense. And like, dude, I fucking love that industrial, like that shit's cool.
That's cool, yeah. You know what happened? And I just realized we have done the entire podcast episode and we did not get to any topics.
Highly based,
highly red pill. I didn't even notice until like I was looking like, oh, what time are we at? We're like at 45, right? And no, we're at the end of the episode.
End of the line, pal.
End of the line, pal. Which is good because I'm literally my pants are about to explode because I have to pee so bad.
Yeah. Sure, you're just not excited to see
me. Yeah, well, it might be that. Honestly, I like midway through like your last sentence, I was contemplating if we were at the 45-minute mark to just piss at this empty water bottle I have right in my desk.
Bro, you could have just said, we could have just paused for a second. You could have gone pee and we could have just edited
like, I have to write this, I have to timestamp down, I have to edit that
part. My brother
out.
in Christ. To be fair, you're gay.
True. However, you are also gay.
Yeah, he's got me there.
With that being said, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and subscribe. Maybe leave some topics down in the comments, in the questions, maybe in the comments down below, or DM me. Maybe we'll get to them if we don't talk about bullshit. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, we don't talk about bullshit for like the entire episode. But with that being said, we'll see you guys next week again. Bye-bye.